the magic elixir of mixing the major and minor pentatonics. You want to see how it's done? Hang out to find out. So what we're doing in this video is we're going to look at 3 different ways of mixing the major and minor pentatonics. We're going to start off with an easy level, then a slightly trickier level, then a slightly trickier level as well. I'm doing 3 mini solos. I'm going to break them all down. You need to watch them all really to get the hang of how to do this. So let's start off with mini solo number 1. So for this one, what I'm largely doing is kind of what Eric Clapton does in his Crossroads solo. Now what he does is this. He takes A minor pentatonic, position 1, and he just shifts it down 3 frets. It's a very common trick. Now when you do that, you get A major pentatonic. So if you take any minor pentatonic position and shift it down 3 frets, it becomes major pentatonic, right? Now, the trick is you've got to be aware that the intervals are different. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is this. Let's say, for example, I take this lick, which sounds great in A minor pentatonic, and I do it down here, thinking it'll sound good in A major pentatonic. It won't, because I'm focusing on the wrong note. That's an F sharp note. That's going to sound like F sharp minor. What I've got to do is I've got to focus on this note, this A note, and do things like this. So I can do pretty much the same lick, but end on the root note, and it will sound A major. It won't sound like F sharp minor. So that's all you've got to do. A lot of people get this problem when they do this trick of shifting a minor position down 3 frets. They play the same licks, and they think, well, it doesn't sound very good. It doesn't sound right over major, but it won't, all right? You've got to focus on these A notes to center around that tonality of A major or that A note or that A note, and I do all that in the solo. So what do I actually do in the solo? Well, I start off with something like this. Now I find that when I do licks in position 1 of major, I tend to do this pedal steel country thing, just because it's really cool. I just really like the sound of it. So I do that quite a bit. And then I did something like, I sort of walked down that scale, right, just adding a sneaky blue note in there as well, down to that A note. So again, it's all kind of centered around this A, which makes it very A major. Now when it goes to the D chord, the 4 chord, what I then do is I go here, right? But I'm centering, I'm doing A minor pentatonic now, okay? This is where I'm mixing major and minor, but I'm centering it around this note. That'll make it D-ish. Now the thing is about A minor pentatonic, it fits really well over the D, right? It almost pretty much fits better over the D than it really does over the A. Now why is that? Because that's a D note, right? That's the flat 7, that's the 5, that's the 4, and then we've got the 2 and the root. So those notes, A minor pentatonic notes, are very compatible with this D7 chord. You know, there's lots of D7-ness in that A minor pentatonic scale anyway, so it fits really well. Then when it goes back to the A chord, I go there. Then when it, over the last 4 bars, when it goes like E7, D7, A7, and back to E7, I'm just kind of blasting away in A minor pentatonic. There's quite a lot of movement there anyway, so and then I might finish with a little walk up to the 5 chord, something like that, right? But you can hear this, you know, if you just sit noodling, that sounds like A, right? Then if I go, it sounds like D, back to A, to E, D, A, E. So there I'm using all those positions and I'm kind of following the chords with my playing. So that's one way of mixing major and minor. We're mixing them, we're not mixing them exactly together. We're doing a bit of major, then a bit of minor, right? The next system is slightly different. So now we're going to look at another solo, another way to mix major and minor. So across this one, I've got a different concept entirely. What I'm doing is over the A chord, I'm kind of thinking B.B. King. I'm thinking this. So I'm thinking the B.B. King box here. Yeah. I might also see that arpeggio, which you can see on the screen now. It's very cool. All right, so I'm thinking that over the A chord, and that's very major-ish because the BB box is based around major. It's actually coming out of position 4. There's my root note. There's my root note, major third, 5, root, yeah? So I'm noodling around that. Now in the BB box, what I can do is I can mix major and minor by doing this. So here, I'm doing it from one place, really. I'm just thinking root, 2, minor third, major third. What I can do is things like minor third, major third. Yeah. So from the BB box, I can mix major and minor pentatonics from there. Now over the D chord, I just went major over this. So the last example, I was playing A minor pentatonic over the D. Here I'm not, I'm thinking D major, and I'm tending to think things like this, right? So I'm just seeing these little intervals of 6s, yeah, and then position 2 there. All right, so I'm thinking very major over the D now, and I did pretty much the same over the E. See, the good thing about major over the D is I can nick those ideas and just shift them up 2 frets and do them over the E. Then D. Yeah. Then in the final example, I'm just kind of mushing the whole thing together. I'm mixing major and minor together all the time by doing stuff like this. Now that's got a ton of major and minor in it, right? Just all in the sort of the one place. And how am I doing that? Well, I'm doing this quite a lot. All right, I'm sliding on fret 4 on the B and 5 on the G. And this is because I'm going from minor third to major third and the flat 5 into the 5. So you get this. And then I'm kind of going back to minor again. So I'm going minor into major, and then this. Right, that's root, flat 7, 5, flat 7, root. Flat 7's more from the minor pentatonic, and the root and the 5 are both in the minor and the major. So it's kind of all mixed up together. Minor third to major third, flat 7. Yeah. There I'm thinking position 2. There I'm thinking major third, minor third, 2. There I'm thinking major pentatonic, but adding in the flat 7 from the minor pentatonic. So you can see it's all very much mixed together. I might do something like this. And here I'm going major third, minor third, 2, root, then flat 7, 6, 5, 4, minor third, major third, yeah? Oh, that's just really cool. But it's just like totally all mixed together. Yeah? So I'm just really kind of like chucking it around, just playing around with it, and almost like creating new scales in a way, because my new scale is now this, isn't it? Something like that, you know. And I'm just kind of going a bit nuts with it. I'm putting a little bit chromaticism in there as well, and all that mush together creates this really cool flavor. I like to think of it as cooking a curry. We're adding little flavors in all the time. The curry's got lots of cool flavors in it. You've got the root, which is kind of like, that might be your tomatoes, you know, and your flat 5 might be your chili, and that minor third might be a bit of coriander. You know, the 6 might be a bit of garam masala, you know, whatever it is, little bits of things like that, you know, and you mix it all together, and the way you mix it creates all those flavors, yeah. But you've got to have that base flavor, which is like your root note, your major third. If it was all just chilies and spices, you know, it'd be a bit like, whoa, it'd just blow your mouth off, wouldn't it? So think of mixing major and minor pentatonics a bit like cooking a curry. So there you have it, 3 really cool ways to mix major and minor pentatonics. Have a good play around with those. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon by clicking the link below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, super important. Catch you next time.